Do you think we'll get stable coins for African currencies?
Yeah, I think it just depends on the market, right? But even with our testing aspect with Baki, we've tested out some different formulas for that. It just comes down to the real demands pertaining to that specific region. But 100%, because it's just a matter of time, because it's innovation. I think that's the part about all these different startups is a lot of people is just copy and paste. So when you really have true innovation, then that's where you really get your edge. And I think that's where, if you're a VC or if you're you're an investor, that's where you're looking, because it's easy to copy and paste things, right? But I think you have to try something different. So 100% there will be different stablecoins.
So you got the Baki exchange, obviously your credit centralized exchange default swaps, the Jara network as well. Is that something you guys have built for cross-border settlement?
Yeah, that's for the TradFi type of solution. Basically, going back from, you have to build each layer, right? So we have to build that layer to a certain degree to understand how that really operates, and then we can build these innovative tools, right?
And so when you go and to Nigeria and you're there to do Canza business, what does your day look like? Are you going to meet with banks down there? Are you going to meet with people on the streets and asking them, like, what do you need? What do you use? Let me see how you might use this app. Are you talking to businesses? You're smiling.
No, that's a great question, because when myself and my co-founder went in 2020, that was the major part. It was like the customer discovery phase, right? You have to get those answers to the exact questions that you just asked. And then you have to then cultivate that information and start really moving upon that. Right now, just like with any other country, I'll say probably within Africa, it's regulation. Obviously, that's a major part. So you want to have that open dialogue with the different regulators, because for what we've learned is that for the regulations to go through, they have to know what they're regulating. So you have to talk to the entrepreneurs and the innovators in these different sectors, right? So that's probably priority number one. Then obviously, the current business aspects, client meetings, but there's really good developer communities, and then there's really communities that want to learn as well. So a lot of outreach as well. And I think from the outreach, we've learned a lot. We had a university outreach program we did with Seller a few years ago, and we're going to really far out universities, but these universities have 40,000, 50,000 students. And we were in the crowd talking, and these guys are talking about Tezos and different other blockchains that you would have never have thought. But then that's when the part came about the fees, right? You're not going to be in Burkina Faso, right? And you're going to be developing on Ethereum, paying $16 just to do some testing contract. $16 in native currency is what, right? So that's when we're hold on, this fee aspect, and then maybe there's so much development on the Binance Smart Chain and anything that had the lowest fees, because it all plays in the economy aspect. But then now that economy part gets into the developer community. So you got to now have these different infrastructure and even onboarding tools. Let's just say this: if you want to do coding right now, majority from what I've seen and who I've talked to, it's all English when you're developing your smart contract or whatever. But if you're in Cameroon or Ivory Coast, you'd learn French your whole life.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.
So then now if you do a wrong step on the keyboard and you want to build a multi-billion-dollar project, you see what I'm trying to say? So the outreach is very, very important.
I always hear that Ethiopia is like a place, or Cardano's there, or Hluskinson goes there. And then I used to see the Bitcoiners talk about how people are using it more aggressively than you thought. Is that true? And does that relate to what you're building?
Yeah, I think Ethiopia is a very big hotspot right now. Mining is really massive there. I think,
Bitcoin mining or regular mining?
yeah, I think Bitcoin mining,
Okay.
Bitcoin mining, probably regular mining too. I have no idea at the moment. But the energy sectors, the regulations, everything supporting that. I think I just went to a conference over the blockchain life or something in Dubai.
Yeah.
They had a whole section about that. That was very interesting. I stopped. Africa, right? Blockchain. So
Russia. Like Africa. That was there.
I sat down and so Ethiopia, but then also there's, like I said, all these economies now, it's just going back to the people, right? There's people everywhere. So the thing how I seen it much more early, I say in the late like 2017, 2018, is that, you know, we all have all this capital and like investments vehicles, right? But then, you know, there's a lot of people that's just like my grandma, there's money probably in the roof or something. So now we're in this digital age, is that those like scenarios is now brought into these systems. And then now it's like, okay, hold on, this capital is on chain or whatever, TradFi, like, is in a bank. So now it's digitalized. So now it's like, okay, hold on. Now we can really start building, because then that builds the economy, right? Foreign investment, all these other different things. So I think that's what we're seeing now, is just like the digitalizations, basically across all different countries. And now it's just connecting all the dots back to my human peer-to-peer networking.
God, I imagine there's so much capital that's just tied up. It's like you said, as we say in the States, under the mattress or in the attic or tied into a business. And that just slows a country down, right? Because in a Western world, that would be in the bank, which means it would be lent out by capital resources.
Exactly.
So that's what you want to encourage. And when it's on the blockchain, it can go even faster and more opportunity.
And that's the part as well. And that's why I think that the outreach and the you know, the education is very important, is because, you know, these decision makers, right, they could be, you know, 30, 40, you know, it's only one like generation apart, but they think totally different. So you have to really get into their ears and really make them understand, you know, in the best ways possible. But then there is, like you said, now all this capital is coming in these digitalized systems. And then how do we use that to, you know, basically benefit, or, you know, better basically the quality of life?
And why not benefit the people for once and not the banks?
Exactly.
And I'm sure that would be refreshing for everybody in Africa, not to mention everywhere else. So, right?
For sure.
Because I'm sure maybe there are more than else that where centralized institutions dominate.
Mm-hmm.
To continue watching the rest of the episode for free, visit our website londonreal.tv or click the link in the description below.